You guys can hear Ziva?
Have you ever wondered what makes bodies tick? Are you creating the sexual reality you desire and require? Would you like to know more about what else is possible with bodies? What if your fantasies are not as strange as you thought they were? What if you could learn to be kinder to your body and kinder to others' bodies? Would you like to create confidence in the bedroom and beyond? How has your sex life or lack of it affected other areas of your life? Have you lost your mojo and wondered where to find it? Everyone has the potency to be a sexual superhero. Get ready to listen, sense, and play with the sexualness that is you. Now, here is the host of The Pleasure Zone, Body Whisperer, Milica Jelenic.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Pleasure Zone. I'm your host, Milica Jelenic. And I've got a really cool guest on today. She may come on with an accent or not an accent.
Darling, I'm here.
I love that. I love that you're here. We're likely going to do the entire show in an English accent because it's so much more fun.
I have to say, Melissa, that introduction about the Pleasure Zone was awesome.
Don't you love it?
I was like, yes, I want to harness my sexual potency. My fantasies aren't wrong. Oh my gosh, listen for more.
Your fantasies are totally, but I can make them into a reality, Julia. That's true. Darling, really, you're too much. I am, and that's okay.
And that's what we're all about here at the Pleasure Zone.
That's right. Where is your pleasure zone? Is it where my pleasure zone is? Oh, it's such a mystery. I'm not sure. I'm going to map my pleasure zones now. Excellent. I'm done.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you for having me on today.
I'm so glad you are on. For everybody who doesn't know, Julia's actually got her own show, and I was on that last year, I think. That's almost a year ago. It was awesome. Yeah. Oh, it was like last fall.
You know, that was a really cool show.
And Julia is such a riot. I've been in lots of classes with her, and just funny. Like, I super enjoy your enthusiasm and questions and hilarity, and like, what a gift you are to the planet. You're so fucking awesome. There was an introduction. So Julia is a CF. She's a CF. I'm going to write a bio for you right now.
I like that. I'm going to put Julia fucking awesome in my bio.
Awesome. My friend Julia Sotas, she's like a CF for Access Consciousness, and she's like magic with bodies and things, and she's also about to like open other things like businesses, and randomly she makes these really cool videos on Facebook where she makes it look like she's traveling with a cape across Canada to Vancouver. I love that video. That's Julia Sotas, and there's so much more. Like, you're like graduating university simultaneously. You're like a CF for Access Consciousness. Like, how many people are that at the age of 23? Like, you're just like so freaking cool. And the first time I met you was at a class in Vancouver over a year ago, and you asked Gary a question. And the funny thing was, is I had this point of view that Julia must be a virgin. Like, it was so funny. The questions you were asking him, you have this amazing ability to have everybody believe that you're naive, even though you're completely not. I was like, I bought it. I bought that, like, hook, line, and sinker. I was like, wow, she's, like, naive. She doesn't know any of this stuff? Yeah, right. It was so funny. Every man in that room. I can't remember, but every man in the room was like, oh, I want to take her home. It was like, so
that is hilarious.
Yeah. So she's got this amazing capacity to, like, be the energy that's the invitation for people to choose her. Like, whatever it happens to be, it's so cool. And so tonight, actually, Julia and our friend Daria, who may not make it on the show tonight, are doing a telecall on Wednesday called Anger, Uncovering the Lies of Anger. And I thought, I like to play with you guys, and one of the things that kind of came up was how many times people actually have angry sex or use anger.
Oh, that's such a great point.
Right? Like, angry sex, like, and is that more fun than joyful sex? Like, what is it for everybody?
oftentimes
scale
sex
on that,
is like a fight.
right? I'm going to
Like
prove
you're
to you
fighting
that I
the
can.
person you're in bed with.
I want on top. No, you want on top. I want you on top. No. It is.
Totally,
like,
though.
Who's going to win their way?
It's so true.
So funny.
Oh, that is so funny. I'm like just choking on myself because I'm laughing so hard.
Awesome. So for anybody who's actually taken up that all sex has to actually be like a fight for who's going to be better and best and who's going to win the competition of I can out-sex you because I got the skills and I actually have a medal that says I'm the best sexer on the planet, so I can out-sex you. You want to borrow that medal? I know you do, Joel.
Sneak into your bedroom and steal it.
Got a medal. It's golden and it's awesome.
You know what? I was watching this movie last night about lesbians, and it was awesome. Actually, it was with for those of you who are not 23, you may not have watched Gossip Girl, but I'm 23, so I have watched Gossip Girl. And Blake Lively, who's Blair Waldorf on Gossip Girl, played this lesbian, and she was sleeping with this girl, and the girl, every sexual position, she'd be like, you know, girls just love it when I do this to them. It's like my signature move. And like, the whole time she was in bed, she was bragging about how good in bed she was. And I just thought, you know, people aren't obviously that out about it, but I've got that before, and I just think it's the funniest thing, and it was just so cute how they depicted it in this movie. The person
That's
literally
awesome.
yelling out,
move.
This is my signature move.
I love it. How many times do we actually hear people say that in their head, though? Like,
exactly.
This is the move. This is the one that's going to do it. But, you know, they're not actually speaking, but we actually do kind of pick up those thoughts, feelings, and emotions and go, oh, wait, this is going to be the move. Hold on, wait for it. Oh, that was a move? How's it get any better than that? Can you bring me some more signature moves? What else is and then you get angry, and then you got to bring the anger into that. Just get really good there. And the angry sex pops.
Well, there is an angry sex. I mean, in all seriousness, I've had like angry sex where it's like having my head banged against the headboard. It's like I'm not even there. And
wow, it's like this space between
awful.
it's like only your vagina existed and everything else disappeared. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that, well, for those of you who are not 23, perhaps you've seen Annie Hall by Woody Allen, in which, you know, they're smoking weed and their beings come out of their bodies and watch themselves have sex on the roof. And I think they discuss the sex they're having while they're on the roof. And
that's
like
so
funny. In kind of an annoyed way. And I'm like, that is the truth. Like Woody Allen actually got the truth in what he's depicting here. It's not even a joke. Like people, you know, their ghost, their being literally leaves their body during sex and then comes back after. Because sex has been made so wrong in this reality that
you have to leave.
We have to leave. You can't be fully conscious and present. You know, I was sleeping with somebody the other night. Let me just get right into this. I was sleeping with somebody the other night. This wonderful, wonderful man. Like I'm telling you, he was just a beautiful soul. But like you could feel his walls. Like I could, you know, he's divorced and like I could feel around him like where all of his walls were. And then I took those walls on myself and I literally, like, it was to the point where I was sleeping with him, but it was like it was like, can you let me in? Like, can you just like put down your drawbridge so I can like be with you here? And it was almost like that, like in that sense, I was fighting. Like I was fighting to get to him because he had such high walls. And it kind of differed from night to night. Sometimes like he would actually be there, and sometimes I felt like I had to like find him. And it's just kind of interesting how it works. And I'm not on this show because I'm a sexpert. I'm on this show because I like to talk about sex, good or bad.
And I love that about you. You're so like You're so frank about it, and even about, we were talking about some skills. We were on a blowjob call together, and you were talking about some of the downfalls of what had gone on for you. And I just love your frank and openness about, like, yeah, I didn't really know what the heck I was doing, and like, you were so funny about it. It's great because so many people actually don't know, or they do know, but they don't actually acknowledge that they know something. Because how much are you aware of bodies and energy that you kind of like, well, we can skip all of this because I can give you an orgasm looking at you. How's it get better than that?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we just try that instead? So that whole, like, you were talking about that guy not being so present, like, and having his barriers up and those and then you have to cross that drawbridge, and there's a troll waiting for you, kind of going, no, you must answer these riddles 3 before I let you cross my drawbridge. And you're like, but I don't know those riddles. I don't know how to get past you. How do I get past you? And sometimes it's like, wow, the trickery we put in place in order to stop ourselves from actually receiving is like really freaking crazy. And so many of those things are those like things that are just completely distracting us. Like, that troll is such a distractor in your way to go, no, you can't cross this bridge. Well, really, I could just walk around you, troll. But no, we insist that we're going to talk to that troll and make sure that he acknowledges us and even let him stop us, because that's what we do. We let things stop us.
Totally.
And it's like that being present is such a gift. And how many people do fight to be present? And what if being present is actually not a fight at all?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta try and be here. Yeah, I gotta try and be here more.
Even though you're the host, seriously, that's what I did. What else could I have done though? Seriously, I'm turning this to you, pleasure host. What else,
cool.
what instead of talking to the troll, what would you have done?
So I would have been like doing ninja moves and went, oh, there's a troll, and I'm going around the troll and asking, what else? Is there a space that I can actually enter in the body? Because sometimes there's like a whole place that's like a whole, it's like that window of opportunity that's kind of goes, oh, there I am. And so it's just like finding that space. And sometimes it's like a lot of exploration until you can like get to the space that makes that person's body just melt and let you in.
Oh,
and sometimes it can just be like being, you're welcome. Yeah, you can bypass the troll and just like do some ninja moves around them. And ask the body, hey, where are you willing to let me in? If you are, where will you let me in? And you might get the weirdest information, like put your finger on the person's kneecap, and you're like, okay, I'm in, I'm on the kneecap. And then their whole body just goes, bam, I'm there, I'm with you. So we often have this
amazing.
Like, right? And so sometimes we have this thing where we just like, we're really focused on the job at hand, right? Because we really want to do a good job. So the job at hand is getting the sex in and getting it good and getting it done. And sometimes that's not it at all, to have some of these barriers come down. It's like, how fully present can you be with that body to see where you can actually get in?
Wow. I'm going to try that.
Cool. How much fun can you have with that, right?
Yeah. Wow.
I'm wondering too, like with anger and like how many people then make themselves wrong for, not performing to their utmost standard or pulling off their signature move and oh man, like that's my signature move and they didn't get it, and then they're mad at themselves. And they're like, but it's my signature move and now I suck. And maybe my signature move is sucking, but this time it didn't work and now I'm so wrong. So what if you have signature moves, but they don't work on everybody's body? And what if your actually signature move is that you are being present, and that's the most signature move you can have.
Right.
Like listening to those bodies and being really, really present with your body while their body as well. Just kind of extending it to wherever that heads off. So we have like a break in 30 seconds where you get to hear more of my cool ads. I love hearing you guys. But I also want to like reiterate that Julia and Daria have a really great series coming up called Anger, Uncovering the Lies. And to me, the energy I get on it is going to really unlock the people who are choosing it from so many things like those trolls on those drawbridges that we always like put in place to stop us from taking that route around. And what if we do have another route that we can take that we don't have to talk that troll all the time. So, yeah. So when we come back, we will talk more about Mad About Sex. Woo! With Julia Sotas.
Woohoo! Bye, everybody.
Many of us have created a lot of limitations around sex and what we are willing to choose. Would you be willing to explore what has already been introduced as sexual practices on this planet? What else is possible beyond what we have already seen, heard, or thought of? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual revolution? Taking the taboo out of all aspects of sex, sexuality, and copulation. By tuning into The Pleasure Zone radio show with body whisperer Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for The Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on a2zen.fm.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
What does optimal cell health mean, and how can you create it? Pulsed electromagnetic field therapy by Swiss Bionics can improve your well-being in every area of your life. The PEMF mat stimulates cells to move and create space between cells for optimal cell function. How does it get better than that? Use 2 to 3 times per day for 8 minutes will improve circulation and immune function. Cell metabolism and repair begins, and mobility also will increase. Do you desire better health? If you're interested or would like a session, call 613-473-3805 or in Toronto. Call or text 416-253-1617. Monthly rentals start at only $300 per month. Is now the time to choose optimal cell health?
This is The Pleasure Zone with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, please call us in the U.S. Call 815-880-8255-TALK or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask for comment by email by sending to Milica at milicajelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pleasure Zone. We're having an interesting conversation in the chat room. I will not tell you guys what it is because I encourage you to join the chat room and find out what's going on in there yourself. So please log on to a2zen.fm and go in the chat room and see what we're saying. How's it going, Jules?
It's going good.
Julia's having a moment there. Those goddamn things, whatever that is. She's mad, and now she's going to go have some sex because she's mad about it.
Exactly.
Get better than that. And I wondered, like, in my lifetime, I dated a guy in my early 20s. When I was your age, Jules. And I just had to say that. But actually, we often would fight. I think I fought with him every 5 minutes, and everything about him agitated me. So I stayed with him for over 3 years, because that's what you do when somebody aggravates you. And we would have like these insane fights, and just because it was the only time I would actually get enough sensation in my body around him to actually enjoy anything that was going on.
Right.
The rest of the time I was so shut off, I wouldn't even choose it.
Yeah,
So,
it's like makeup sex.
yeah.
The same thing.
Yeah, makeup sex. Like, how angry can I get? So how intense can this be? So that was like kind of the last time in my life that I was choosing angry sex, and then some things showed up in my universe. I was like, I'm choosing kindness now, which was completely different for me to start to even allow myself to start to explore what would the kindness look like. And not to say that the angry sex was a wrongness. It just wasn't what my body was requiring or requesting anymore. So even if your body requires and requests to have that angry sex, because it's that one time where you're truly present. And actually, Daria had brought that up. We were talking on chatting somewhere, and she was like, yeah, it's like the one time you get to be really present is when you're that angry. You choose to be really there with that person. I was like, yeah, that is something that it has shown up in my world before.
Yeah, no. And I mean, I think, like, the reason that I'm really excited for the anger call is because there is this space that's beyond anger. Like, we're taught, like, I am doing this anger call, and people don't consider me an angry person at all. I'm like, you know, Mrs. Betty Happy Goofy Pants. But the point of the call, for me, like, what anger is when you actually get, like, when you're creating a different reality. Like what we're doing with when you talk on the pleasure zone, or when we do any kind of consciousness work, anything like that, is the point is to create a different reality, because the reality that's here is not working around sex. Like the you know, there's sex as like, this is my signature move, and like that doesn't work. That's not kind. That's not fun. Nobody's having fun doing that. Not truly. And all of these things are going on around us that are just wrong. Like, they just are. Like, why is this the best that should be? And the point of the anger call is that it's okay to be angry. Like, anger is part of the deal when you're creating a new reality. There's so many things that I'm so angry about, because it's appropriate to be angry. There just should be something different, and that's exactly what we're working to create. But when we cut off the anger and say, oh no, I'm conscious, I'm doing everything perfectly, I'm happy and great, it's like you're cutting off a whole range of other energies as well. And when I started to really let my anger in, like, I became way funnier. I became way happier. The trees started to look different. Things started to taste different. Like, the world, sex was better. The world has more sensation now because I am not blocking that energy of anger, because it is appropriate to be angry. So it's like, when you get angry, be angry. Don't try to change it. Just be like, fuck, this is insane. Like, how can the world be like this? And actually delve into that energy, because that's what is appropriate.
Absolutely. So. It's all those people who have taken, you know, and they've actually started to create change on the planet, all the pioneers of change, and, you know, people who have created a lot of visibility with their change. They're often very vocal. You know, Russell Brand, he's very vocal, and he's seen, and he's heard, and he's angry, and people know him, and they love him, and they adore his point of view, even when he's angry, and he's like, you people are idiots, and they're kind of like, you're fucking right, we are.
That's
so
awesome.
There is he's that intensity, right, that is actually creating change on the planet. Huh. So that anger.
No wonder he broke up with Katy Perry.
It's just like too calm or something. I don't know.
She's just like the prom queen. And he's like, I'm angry at that exact thing.
Totally.
That's cool, though. Yeah, it's part of the gig. It's part of what's going to create a change.
It was actually funny because, you know, my daughter often will pick up on the things that I'm working, you know. Who knew, right? She's that aware. And so just before this call, she, for the last 45 minutes, she came back from horseback riding. Everything was okay. And then she had a meltdown. Everything was wrong in her universe. Everything was crap. And Julia knows her. And Julia knows she's usually kind of like, oh, let's play with a balloon and let's be happy. And you know, let me do energy tickles on you. And actually, Julia is one of Ziva's favorite people to do energy tickles on. So,
it's incredible, actually, for those of you out there listening. How old is Ziva? 6?
7.5. Yeah.
7.5. So she's 7.5, and at Access classes, we all lay out on massage tables in certain classes where we do energy body work and stuff like that. So I was laying on a massage table, and Siva comes over and does energy tickles, and her hand is far above my body, but I can feel her tickling my insides, and I get like giddy, like it's like physically being tickled, but she's tickling like a foot above my body, and it's just incredible. Like it's like absolutely, it's magic. It's literal magic what she does, and I just think it's the funnest thing in the world.
I love that. Thank you. I'm going to take that clip and I'm going to use it to promote her. It's awesome. She is magic. It's really funny. She's really fucking amazing at the work she does when she chooses to do it, and she just happens to adore you. That's why you get to be worked on. Otherwise, it's kind of like, I'll think about it. That's cool. So yeah, I love that. So that tickling you from the inside. So what can we actually do in our lives to have that sensation of like literally being tickled and bringing that joy out that we've been hiding, or we've been, trying to suppress or repress? Or even what if our anger is actually a lot of joy? Like what if it's fun to be crabby? Like she was having a blast being crabby. What if it's actually really fun to be crabby sometimes, because it's going to change your world and that you can manipulate for what you truly desire with it?
When part of what all of this work is for me is not half living. Like when I get upset, I'm not. Is there somebody?
I'm not sure. That we have somebody on the line who's making some noises.
Maybe they're in their pleasure zone. If so, that's fine. You continue. But it's like it's part of actually part of like this work is about not half-ass living. It's about fully living, which we are taught not to do. We are taught to suppress and be nice and be good and only keep the positive. And it's like it's about being all of it. And when I get sad, I get sad. So I will put on some days I'll go as far as to put on a big dress and make sure I'm wearing mascara and looking pretty, and I'll get it's part of my sadness, so it's romantic. And I'll go from room to room in the house screaming and crying and smearing makeup on my face and just and just go for it. And then it's like after 2 minutes of doing it, I'm like, this is fabulous. I'm hilarious. Like, does anyone see how hysterical I am? Obviously, I'm alone in the house, but it's just this really fun thing where if you don't make it, that's what we mean when we say don't make it real. Just go dive in. And when you dive into it, it's not real. It's just fun, and you're over your point of view of whatever made you sad really quickly.
I would love to see a video of you with your big dress and mascara smeared all over your face. That would be such a contribution to me in my crabby days. I'd be like, I'm watching the Julia video getting crabby. That's awesome.
There is a clip. If you've seen did you watch the latest North American video newsletter that Blossom did?
No.
There is a clip of me doing that. You'll have to find it because it's really quite endearing.
That's awesome. I'll be posting that to all my people. So if you want to if anybody would like to see that, get on my newsletter and you guys will see that next time. That's awesome. So we've got 1 more minute to the next break, but when we come back, we will be talking more about mad about sex and how to get better than that. We actually have a question when we get back too from Whitney, and I have to find it. So Whitney's question is, what do you have if you have a mothball in each hand? I'm not sure, but I like questions.
What do you have?
Tiny balls. Does the guy have tiny balls?
Many of us have created a lot of limitations around sex and what we are willing to choose. Would you be willing to explore what has already been introduced as sexual practices on this planet? What else is possible beyond what we have already seen, heard, or thought of? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual revolution? Taking the taboo out of all aspects of sex, sexuality, and copulation. By tuning into the Pleasure Zone radio show with body whisperer Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for The Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on a2zen.fm.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bar session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
What does optimal cell health mean, and how can you create it? Pulsed electromagnetic field therapy by Swiss Bionics can improve your well-being in every area of your life. The PEMF mat stimulates cells to move and create space between cells for optimal cell function. How does it get better than that? Use 2 to 3 times per day for 8 minutes will improve circulation and immune function. Cell metabolism and repair begins, and mobility also will increase. Do you desire better health? If you're interested or would like a session, call 613-473-3805 or in Toronto. Call or text 416-253-1617. Monthly rentals start at only $300 per month. Is now the time to choose optimal cell health?
This is The Pleasure Zone with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, please call us in the U.S. Call 815-880-8255-TALK or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask for comment by email by sending to Milica at milicajelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pleasure Zone. I'm your host, Milica Jelenic, and my guest, Julia Sotas, is on today, and we're talking about being mad about sex, whatever that means. You can also be crazy for it. Like, how crazy are you for sex, and does it drive you crazy thinking about it? Are you right now being driven crazy thinking about trying to get some, or not get some, or trying to avoid it, or trying to get it? Getting a little crazy.
That's awesome.
Are you feeling crazy right now, Julia? Are you feeling driven to think about getting it or not getting it, or who you just got it with and how it could have been better but it wasn't better? Everything that is. Those are the kind of clearings we do on the Pleasure Zone.
Right, we're on good talk all night, short plays beyond. I like it. I think that should be put on a loop.
Because it's really relevant, and there was a lot of energy on that.
Actually, I was driving home today, and I was thinking about what I'm going to ask for in future relationships and future sexual encounters and stuff like that. And I was thinking about my second boyfriend. I've probably only had a couple because I'm. Anyways, so I keep going to
you're
this.
Playful. How do you get better than that?
I think it's so funny today. But I was thinking about my boyfriend when I was 17, and he was so much fun. He would play with me. We would play during the day. And I remember one time he let me and my little sister do his makeup. And he was like totally up for it, and we had so much fun. And then he walked out into the kitchen, and my dad was like, and he like just didn't say much, but he was kind of like, why is this guy wearing makeup? This is retarded. And I was just like, this guy had no point of view. He was just like, oh, whatever. And it was just so much fun. I was like, I got that energy, and I actually got that energy in somebody I've been spending time with recently. The same guy with the walls and the troll, but he's really quite lovely. Anyways, and it's just like, that's what I'm looking for. And it's in bed, but also in life. It's like, will you play with me? Like, I kind of thought of it as asking the question, and I'm going to leave everybody with this question today, is like, who can I convince to play with me? Or who can I get to play with me?
I love the convincing, because you are such a treat at manipulation. It's like fun to be manipulated by you. So I like, who can I get to play with me? It's like, oh, Julia's manipulating me. Okay, I'm in. It's cool. I'm having fun.
Exactly. I've had people who be like, I would never feed you tea and cookies, because I was laying down and I didn't want to get up. And they literally fed me tea and cookies, and they were like, I would never do that for anybody, but I really wanted to do it for you.
I know. I've watched you do that stuff. It's so funny. It's such like, and what gift do you have that's just like so, like Julia's got this amazing gift of people will like do random funny weird things for her like that. And like, what is your gift? Because what if that's actually your way of creating relationships with people? So like, you know, asking that question, Jules, is so awesome for the, you know, the person that you're choosing to have, I don't know, like that you're going to choose every 10 seconds for at least 3 or 4 days to create a relationship with.
That's a really long relationship, Melissa. I don't know.
I know, I'm asking a lot of you. That's like, wow.
No, it's really fun. And yeah, it's just like, it's like how, like, it's just about this lightness. It's not about proving that somebody loves you or trying to make something last forever or being perfect or making sure your vagina is, you know, a perfect clam with a pearl in it. It's like, it's more about, you know.
I hope it doesn't smell that way, though.
Especially if it's been sitting.
Like, wow.
Clam chowder soup. Ooh, okay, sorry. Ew. Okay, I really like clam chowder soup, and now I don't know. But it's like, it's just like life is so enjoyable if we let it be. It's like the world is a beautiful place. And I don't mean that from like a Pollyanna perspective. It's like, if you actually use these tools that Access Consciousness gives, and Milica talks about on this show, and all of the other different people who do radio shows on A to Zen, it's like, if you actually take these tools and use them out in the world and ask, you know, like, who could I get to play with me? And what is my gift? And how can I get people to contribute to me in a way that works? And if you actually start asking that, the world wants to gift to you. Like, the whole world and universe and all the people around you are actually waiting for you to ask, but you're not asking. And if you do ask and you keep asking and keep asking, kind of like in the tone of a whisper, not from like, what's it going to take to get this to work? Or, you know, what's it going to take for this person to play with me? They're not going to come play with you. But
don't you love me? Don't you
love me?
I'm crazy right now, and I want to kill you, but I want to have sex with you at the same time. And you can feel it, but I know that I'm scaring you, but I still want you.
Exactly. That's seriously the energy that most people are when it comes to relationship. But it's like, you have to ask for the world to contribute to you, and you have to ask in the tone of a whisper.
I love it.
If you're laying in bed with somebody, think about this. If you're laying in bed with somebody and the rain is pouring on the roof, and it's 3:00 in the morning and you woke up and there's somebody sleeping beside you, and you roll over and you touch them and nudge them and sort of wake them up a little bit, and you whisper in their ear, "Will you touch me here?" It's like, of course they will. and it will turn into this incredible 3 a.m. intimate journey to whatever it is. And it's like, that's how you have to ask for things in your life. You can't go around and go like, how does it get better than this? And what would it take for this to show up? It's like, that's not going to work. That's from need. You can't create things from need. You can't create things from lack. You have to just ask for the sake of asking. And it's like, and it has to be in a gentle whisper. Because when you ask from a gentle whisper, you're not asking from need. You're not asking from want. You're not asking from lack. You're not asking from a previous point of view that you're wrong for not already having it. You're just asking. There's actual wonder in a whisper. It has to be.
There's wonder in a whisper. I'm going to make a meme for you with that. There's wonder in a whisper. There is.
I'll take a meme.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it is beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful way to live. And sometimes I, run around banging my head against brick walls when there's a door 3 feet to the left, and I would just rather keep banging my head against the brick than just move over 3 feet to the left and open the doorknob. But also, like, I do spend a lot of my time whispering, and I've just learned to do this. And actually, and I'm scared. Like, if I'm going to actually whisper for something, like actually ask in the tone of a whisper, I'm kind of selective on what I whisper for because I know I'm going to get it. And when I used to go around being like, what would it take for this to show up? And who would be fun to play with? And all of these things that were just like a crazy person, that nobody wants to hang out with.
I liked you then, too.
I know, that's true. I'm quite good. Everybody is quite good out there. If you're listening to this, you've got some mad skills. But it's just like, if you ask in the tone of a whisper, it will show up. And so now that I've learned to do this, like, I'm actually a little more selective about what I ask for because I know it's going to show up. And I can tell what is going to work and what's not going to work. You can see what's congruent with the rest of the universe. Because it's also not just about being like, oh wait, are we coming to a break? Am I?
We've got 3 minutes to break. No, I'm liking what you're saying. Keep going.
Okay,
girl.
yeah. So it's just like, I completely lost track. Where was I?
Whispers and being selective about what you're asking for.
Oh yeah, and it's not. You can ask for everything and anything. I mean. When I came to Access, I actually whispered really, really well then, even before I knew what I was doing. I had, if anybody's listened to radio shows with me before, you've probably heard this story, but I had this notebook. It was this little angel notebook, and in the notebook, I didn't even know what the bars were. I didn't know how questions worked. I just knew that Access Consciousness was this crazy thing, and these crazy people asked questions. So the only question I knew was, what would it take for this to show up? So I'd be like, what would it take for this boy to like me? What would it take to travel the world? What would it take to make this much money? What would it take for blah, blah, blah? And I just put that book away, and I didn't look at it for 2 years. And I found the book, I don't know, I guess a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I looked through it, and I burst into tears. Because my life was everything in that book. Everything. Except for the $1 billion, okay? But
that's on its way.
That's totally on its way. And the universe is rearranging itself to bring me that. I absolutely know that, without a doubt. But that was a whisper. Because I wrote it down, and I put it away. And I didn't think about it. I didn't go all crazy on it. I didn't make myself wrong for it. When I didn't see it showing up, 3 days later. And I had all of it. Like, the guy that I wanted to date at that time, he became my boyfriend. He was wonderful. He's a wonderful person. And I got everything. And so it's just, you can't ask something and go into the wrongness of you. You have to just ask out of curiosity and from a whisper. So.
I love that. I've heard a lot of people reiterating the curiosity these days and the wonder. And it's interesting because it's like, we're really getting back to the basics of the tools of really the wonder and the question, like the question and the question. It's so interesting that there's been this kind of intensity where people have been almost screaming at the universe, like, give me this! Oh my God! Prove it to me! Prove you exist! Give me what I'm asking for! These tools don't exist because I was just screaming them and nothing showed up. And yeah, that whisper is such a gift. Like when my daughter asks me for something quietly, and she's got this thing where she'll ask a question. She tends to start them with "but," and she'll say, "But can I have a?" And I'm like, so if you ask it again and don't yell at me, let's see what shows up. And then she'll go, "Okay, can I have a cookie?" I'm like, "Okay, would your body like a cookie?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Cool, go for it." She's like, "But can I have a cookie?" I'm like, "What?" And it's almost like it's an agitation in my universe. It's like, you just aggravated my universe. But if you whisper at me, chances are you are going to get what you're asking for. I already see the lineup. I see the droves of men going, "Can I have a blowjob?" It's cool. I understand, guys. It's all cool. How many... For anybody who's like desiring, I love that, like bring the whisper into your world, and what else will show up when you actually start to be in wonderment, and how much of the anger will just literally start to like the places where you're using anger to stop you, how much of that will fizzle, that you can actually start to get that anger can be a contribution, or that rather than anger, like that potency of being that's depressed can show up, and whether it looks like anger to other people or whatever it's looking like to other people, that it can show up and also still have that question with it, rather than the anger that's more of a conclusion, "I can't stand this," or it's like, there's a totally different energy around, like inquisitive, changing the world. My daughter stomping around with intensity, just like, "Oh, what's it going to take?" And then she gets quiet, and then all of a sudden her whole world opens up, right? So sometimes we require that energy to get out, and sometimes it's physical and you just get it out, and then you go, "Oh, that's what that was. Oh, I get it now." So yeah, we're so cool.
Yeah. We are really cool.
And I know that a lot of people who so we've got a few minutes left, and I'd like to talk more about you, Jules, and your work and the stuff that you're. So as a certified facilitator of Access Consciousness, now you're also a Right Voice for You facilitator, aren't you?
No, but I feel like somebody else asked me that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I thought you were. Okay, cool. So, so everything, she's creating so many things. Can you tell people how to find your radio show and your upcoming classes, including the Anger Call? They can find that on Facebook. We've put it on so many Access Consciousness groups. Likely, if you type into Access Consciousness and any province or state, you'll find a posting for that, or you can just message me and ask for it. I will send it to you. So yeah, there's that call. And please tell them more about you, where to find you, and the cool things you're creating.
Well, right now, and I'm wondering, people might still be able to join if they have some tools, or have a little bit of the basics. I'm doing this really, really good new class, and it's called 8 Weeks to Create Your Life. We've done the first 2 classes, and the next one is tomorrow. And it's about using the tools of Access, applying them in every area. So it's 8 different areas, and then the last area that I'm letting the class pick. And it's been really, really cool to see what comes up. Our first one was on money, and our second one was on happiness is just a choice. And I think there was just sort of a discrepancy of where do I use these tools? How exactly do they apply to every area? So this class is just kind of dedicated to making that more clear. And also, this class is going to the moon. I can't believe where these people are willing to go and the places we've gone to in 2 days, or 2 classes. It's just awesome. like, my life is changing, their lives are changing, everybody is changing. It's just a beautiful, beautiful energy. And the lady who's transcribing it, her name's Alison Rosler, and she's a lady from Australia. She actually contacted me and said, would you like me to transcribe the classes for you? So she's been transcribing these classes, and she does every single clearing perfectly, and she made 8 pages of notes on each class, so it's almost like a whole transcription of the class, and it's just an awesome class. I'm so happy to be doing it. So if you do contact me sometime this week, I will still let people join, and then after that it's closed because we're going on a rocket ship ride, and I don't want anybody to, people have gotten ill from joining classes too late in because they don't have the prerequisites and they're not on kind of the energetic journey with everybody. But if you do contact me soon, you can still join because it's really quite a life-changing experience, this class. So
I love that.
Yeah.
And you've got foundation level 1s and bars classes galore and traveling the world, like you were saying. Like
Indeed.
Last year, Julie was in Costa Rica for a while, just randomly, studying, have fun. So,
I went to Costa Rica twice in the same 2 months or something. It was just ridiculous. It was too much Costa Rica. I tried to go to university there, and I really, really didn't like the school because it was so feminist to the point that they were trashing men, like literally saying men are pigs and men are horrible creatures. And then we had to learn about every single gun that was ever created. And the school is dedicated to peace. It's run by the United Nations, and it was just about how men are wrong, about every single gun. And I was like, I don't want to know all this stuff. So I actually came home after like a week. But we do a lot of access classes there. And it's such an incredible country. It's such a beautiful place. I'm very lucky. Access consciousness has really, really brought me what I'm personally looking for, and just kind of gotten me to a place where I don't have to apologize for anything I do or what I am. This is me, and that's what I would like for everybody to be able to choose. Is just, who are you? I want to know you, and the whole world wants to know you. And when you're willing to know you, it's like you can create anything because you're not hiding anything.
Totally. I love that because you really, just be you and don't hide anything. 'Cause we are so good at that and hiding it from ourselves too. So we've got about a minute and a half left, and I just want to really thank you for coming on tonight. It was such a last-minute sort of arrangement. I think I asked you maybe 48 hours ago or something, and I adore you. And every time I'm in a class with you, I'm like, yay, Julia's there. I'm so happy. So I always know there's going to be fun questions that are funny and that make me laugh because, and I get stuff out of them too. They both make me laugh, and I'm like, I have that too. It's funny. So I love that about you, and that you just you have no holds barred. You're like, I'm going to ask it because nobody else is asking that question right now. I'll be asking that question, even if it made everybody else embarrassed that I just asked.
Yeah,
it's great. It's such a gift.
Thank
such
you.
a cool gift. Do you have a website that people can look at?
I do. I have a beautiful, beautiful JuliaSotas.com. Actually, my university roommate made it, and she's awesome. So it's just JuliaSotas.com, JuliaSotas.com.
Awesome. And
you can find all the archives to my radio show there.
Yeah, and so is your radio show now on a consistent day?
No.
Okay, cool, because I know for a while you were going to try that. So just keep up to date with Julia. You may randomly see a posting, hey, she's having a radio show. How's it get better than that?
It's kind of more of an archive show. And I'm actually looking at creating a class, something like a teleseminar or a telesummit or something like that called The Inquiring Mind of Julia Sotas. And just looking into things that I find really fun and strange and interesting. And do a lot of access, but also fashion and home decor and personal finance and there's just so many fun things in the world, and I want to learn everything. So
thank you for choosing to listen to The Pleasure Zone. Milica Jelenic will return next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on a2zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by choosing to be turned on.